Hey, it's your boy Jay here from Jay Knows Wrestling. And it's that time to do the Royal Rumble 2022 recap. This year, the Royal Rumble comes from the Dome of the Americas Center in St. Louis, Missouri. There was no pre-show matches at all. Superbeard was almost as upset about this as the fact that there was no White Castles to be found anywhere in the venue. For our first match, we have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns came to the ring first, and he's champion. What's gonna happen? Everyone marks out because Seth Rollins did the full Shield entrance music, came through the crowd, and had on the Shield gear too. This was not enough for him to take the title away from Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns all but had Seth Rollins choked out until the referee put Seth's hands right onto the rope. Roman refused to give up the chokehold and was disqualified for not letting go before the 5 count. Then, an upset Roman Reigns, after losing but retaining his title, got the chair and hit Seth Rollins like Seth Rollins had hit him all those years ago. So, will we see a rematch between Seth and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? We will have to see. And for our second match of the night, everyone was excited about this. We had the Women's Royal Rumble. Definitely one of the best 5 that they have ever done. Our first surprise was right at the beginning with Melanie. I couldn't even finish her name because she was eliminated that quickly. Our next surprise was the captain, Alicia Fox. Love Panda lost his mind when she came to the ring. The former 24/7 champion. Our next surprise was Mighty Molly Holly. And I'm sure comic punk guy CPG went full on nuts to see a superhero in real life. Not an almost superhero, but a legitimate superhero such as Mighty Molly Holly. Ivory came down in her right to censor gear. Don't know why, because if you think about it, everything now has been censored like they wanted. So she really didn't need to talk to us the way she did. So not sure about that. And then our other surprise was Rowdy Ronda Rousey. So I bet you'll never guess what happened. I know some people have some opinions about this one. Ronda Rousey eliminates Charlotte Flair to be the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. The Iron Woman of the match was Bianca Belair, lasted 47 minutes but only 1 elimination. And I'm sure what you're all wondering is Mickie James. What did Mickie James do? She did come down with the Impact Knockouts Championship. She did have her Impact music instead of her WWE music, which I feel was a pretty good, compromise between the two companies for her to use her Impact music as well. She lasted quite a bit. She got 1 elimination, lasted to 12 minutes, and she was eliminated by a legend, Lita. So that's about what we expected to get, and that is exactly what we got. But Ronda Rousey showing up at 28 and winning the Rumble. There was also the surprise of Sarah Logan, but that was more because her husband was in the locker room. They realized they only had 29 women and said, "Hey, Eric, could you call your wife and see if maybe she could, make $10, $15 and help us out?" So yeah, Sarah Logan was there as well. But Ronda Rousey has worked on her craft so well. We all remember the awkward sign point from her debut. She learned from those mistakes, but she did so well she caught the sign on fire. Or she may be a witch. Next up, we had Becky Lynch versus Dewdrop. Yeah! And I'm sure MacRuber really loved this one because it was action-packed from beginning to end. Actually, it was. It was one of the better wrestled matches of the entire night, so. But the crowd just couldn't get into it, partially because of the fire, and partially because we have two heels going at it together. But, as I'm sure everyone predicted, Becky Lynch walks away with the win. Next up, we get Bobby Lashley versus the reigning, defending, conquering WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. A match we've all waited years for. The match that we're hoping goes for hours because these two big brutes should just be beating on each other like King Kong versus Godzilla. Who's gonna win this one? Bobby Lashley. Yeah. Bobby Lashley has won the WWE title from Brock Lesnar. Now, that being said, there was just a little bit of help from Roman Reigns for some reason. Had to come down to make sure Lesnar lost his title, hit him with the spear. Paul Heyman hands Roman Reigns the belt to also hit Lesnar with. But nonetheless, Bobby Lashley, the man who probably should have won the world title or the WWE title at day one, is now finally WWE champion again. And that is Willie Finesse approved. But you're wondering, didn't Roman Reigns beat up Paul Heyman? Yes, they did. Apparently this was part of their grand scheme. But when you think about it, Lesnar did the same thing to Heyman years ago. He beat him up. And then, weeks later, Heyman turned back to managing Brock. So I guess Heyman is a sub. So it is what it is, guys. But what kind of story could we be telling? It seemed like Lesnar kind of locked himself in on Raw. And Roman Reigns is over on SmackDown. So I am sure there is no way those two men will ever cross paths again. Next up, we get Edge and his wife, Beth Phoenix, versus Miz and Maurice. We did need to have a piss break match, so here it is, guys. Edge and Beth Phoenix win with stereo glam slams. I'm sure this didn't turn anybody's eyes black from how hard all these people went in this match. I've also have it on good authority that Infamous Opinionist thought that team of Edge and Beth Phoenix sure did show a lot of grit. Next up, we have the Men's Royal Rumble. Here's the thing. We should all ask Russell's Mania. Is there going to be sign pointing at the end of the match? I guess we'll have to wait to find out who wins this one. I'm sure not one single person out there can guess who's going to win this Royal Rumble. And for our first surprise of the match, we had to wait all the way until 21, so nothing at all happened in the Royal Rumble from the beginning all the way until 21. And we get Drew McIntyre. Word is Comic Punk Guy and Love Panda were very disappointed that they did not get to see the Sword in person. I'm sorry, guys, but it is a Rumble. He does have to rush out there. Next up, McGruber got to live his dream! I am so happy for you, Zach. He, in person, got to watch Bad Bunny, who entered the Rumble, do a Canadian Destroyer. Our next surprise, which lit Super Beard up. Infamous Opinionist couldn't even stand in his seat or sit in his seat for this one. He had to stand right up. The big surprise of Shane O'Mac. Yes, the boss's son. And then, number 30, we get Brock Lesnar. Wait a minute. How did he get number 30 in the Rumble? How did he even get a spot for the Rumble? Like he was a champion going into that. I don't... What? How? And then Lesnar won. Yes. Brock Lesnar won. But, before I go on, the Iron Man of the men's Royal Rumble, AJ Styles. They started the Rumble this year with AJ and Nakamura, and that chemistry was still there between the two, but, you know, it's WWE, so we can only have a minute and a half of greatness at a time. AJ Styles did what a true Iron person should. Didn't quite last the 47 minutes like Bianca Belair did. I believe it was more around 22 minutes. But he had 6 eliminations, the most in the entire match. So, as a true Iron Man, he did do his job. And who else would you rather have do something like that? Dolph Ziggler's on his way out. You really don't have too many athletic people that can go that long and just be athletic the entire time. Another thing that everybody's going to talk about is the fact that Kofi Kingston tried to do his old, my feet can't touch, the floor is lava. Yeah, he botched it. And I mean, like, realistically, that is a far jump. So the fact that he makes it more often than not, he probably watched a little bit too much GCW last weekend. That is the only thing I could assume. But, as I said, Brock Lesnar enters the Royal Rumble and wins as a surprise to no one. There are some people that are even saying they will never go to a WWE live event again because it is the same shit over and over again. I would just like to read this. It is a quote directly from the WWE. Royal Rumble 2022. One of our biggest premium live events of the year. We always have good grapples, just a little bit of story progression, and like to be predictable. And that is our motto here at the WWE. In my opinion, it was a fun PLE. Everybody's going to be upset because of that ending. But if you watch the actual wrestling, if you like the sport of wrestling, was not too bad at all. My personal grade for the 2022 Royal Rumble can best be summed up by this picture here. Royal Rumble 2022. Had to be a great pay-per-view for all those marks in attendance. And just because the WWE loves you, they even did the pyro on the sign that Ronda Rousey caught on fire. They went ahead and did it for Brock Lesnar. WWE, we don't care if we set our fans on fire as long as we have a great camera shot. You guys know it's all fun here at J Knows Wrestling, but to be serious for just a moment, please buy some merchandise from some of these great content creators. 100% of the profits will go to either Alex's Lemonade Stand or the Cauliflower Alley Club. And for a limited time after you make your purchase, if you go to either Nico Extra's page, Nico Mania on here, or Heel Kevin's page, you will be entered for a chance to win a real replica title. So that is a pretty hot deal. So once again, check out some of these great creators, buy some of their merch, and try to win yourself something. Thank you. I believe that's all I need to say. Woo! Pretty glad Heel Kevin decided to help us out. Replica belts. He gives them away all the time, too, so you might have more than one chance to win. Just rambling, trying to hit a minute. Thanks.